it's Barry Neale from Hypnosis, Essex here, and today I want to talk about how you can get yourself out of a bad mood, and in fact how you can begin to start taking control of your own thoughts and your own feelings. And once you start doing this, you'll find you'll be able to break out of any slump very, very quickly. But you do need to want to do that. Now, we're all human. Sometimes we just enjoy feeling bad. But if you know you've got the choice, then you can learn how to break out of it. So what I want to do is to show you a couple of methods in which you can break out of negative thoughts, negative feelings, and begin to start changing your neurology in such a way that this process becomes automatic. Now, when I teach self-development courses or hypnosis courses, or even just do public speaking exercises and with groups, one of the questions I like to ask them is, how many people here suffer with low self-esteem? And quite often, about 50% of the audience will put their hand up. I then ask them, so how many people here have a negative voice in their head that is constantly nagging at them and berating them and putting them down? And virtually 100% of the people in the room put their hand up, which is kind of strange. So I then ask the people who don't have low self-esteem but do have a negative voice, well, how come if you've got this negative voice that's constantly nagging you and beating you up, why don't you have low self-esteem? And the answer is always the same. They don't listen to it. They pay no attention to it. They tell it to shut up. And if you do that, the miraculous thing is, it does. And so what I want to do is to get you to start practicing this. Now, this is not something that you do once and then miraculously you're going to feel better, but it's something that if you start doing this with consistency over and over and over again, you'll be able to get rid of that negative voice in your head and begin to start feeling better. Your self-esteem will go up, your confidence will go up, your anxiety will drop, your depression will drop. You'll be able to change the way you think very, very quickly, but you do need to practice it. So let me go through the steps. So this is an exercise on stopping. People change pen, that's not a very good one. Bad thoughts. And step one is just notice what kinds of bad thoughts that run through your mind. Just what kinds of bad thoughts run through your mind, and what you say to yourself that makes you feel bad. So step one is just notice what are the kinds of bad thoughts that run through your mind, and what are the kinds of things you're saying to yourself. You may be saying things like, well, you're useless, you'll never do this, you'll always screw it up, and a heck of a lot worse. Those types of things. And pay attention to that. So then, what we want to do is to stop this self-talk. Now, the good news is, you don't have to go to therapy. You don't have to lie on a couch and tell the therapist about your mother. All you need to do is just start taking control of that voice. And here's how you do it. And it's going to sound really simple. And you're going to think, oh, that's not going to work. Yes, it does. Remember my example about the people who had the negative voice but still had good self-esteem? They paid no attention to it. They told it to shut up. So here's what you do. When you hear that negative voice, you tell it to shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. And if you're over 18, you say, shut the fuck up. So you get that negative voice, you stop it. Anytime it comes in and it says, you'll never amount to anything, shut up. You'll never do this, shut up. Keep doing it over and over again. You are the voice. You are the one that's in control. So every time you hear this negative voice, tell it to shut up. Shut up. So anytime, step 3, anytime you speak negatively to yourself, repeat this mantra. Do it over and over again. So anytime, do it in your head. Don't do it out loud unless you're on your own. Otherwise people will look at you weirdly. But just say to yourself, shut up, shut up, shut up. And eventually you will take control of that. But then don't leave it like that. Nature abhors a vacuum. So then you need to fill it with something pleasant. So step 4, say nicer things to yourself. Compliment yourself. Use a kind tone. Your brain will move towards pleasure. So if you then replace it with something better, like I'm a kind person, I'm a generous person, I can do this. Do it in a kind tone. Yeah, I may have failed in the past, but I'm going to do this now. Use a kind tone. So, really simple. Notice whatever thoughts you're having, what are the negative things you say to yourself. When you hear that negative thing, tell yourself, shut up, shut up, shut up. Condition it in. Anytime you speak negatively to yourself, repeat this mantra over and over again, and then start saying kind things to yourself. Give yourself compliments in a kind tonality. And soon, if you do this with consistency, you will program this into your mind. There's a thing in neurology called neurons that fire together, wire together. And if you consistently do this, the neurons will fire consistently and you'll wire those into your neurology and change will take place. But it does take consistency to do that. So do this. It is really simple, but it's very, very powerful. You can take control of your own thoughts, but the first step is actually doing it. So do this and you'll find that you can take control of it very, very quickly. So now that's step 1. That's exercise 1. Now another step. This is the second exercise. You might want to write these down so that you remember to do them. And this is an exercise in how to change your mood. Now, particularly at this time, many people are anxious about the situation. They're anxious about the environment. They're anxious about the economy. They're anxious about their jobs, whatever. We need to learn to start changing our mood, because often what happens is we get in these bad moods and then we start making major decisions. And the worst possible time that you can make a decision is when you're in a bad mood. We've all probably done that. We've had an argument with someone, a friend or a relative or a partner. We've been in a really bad mood and then we've made a life-changing decision at that moment in time, which probably wasn't a very good idea. So we need to learn to start being able to change our moods. Because if you can then change your mood and get into a positive mood, then you can make better decisions about your life, better decisions about what you want to do. So here's how you do that. So this is called Change Your Mood exercise. You can see I've worked hard on these titles. So first of all, you would identify the bad mood. Now, a bad mood can really only be made up of 3 things. It can only be made up of bad images, like what you're picturing in your mind, bad self-talk, i.e. what you're saying to yourself, nagging yourself, berating yourself, as we just talked about in the last exercise, and bad physiology. Well, you may be thinking, hang on, I can understand the first two. You know, if I'm picturing really negative things in my mind and saying really bad things to myself, I can see how that would make me feel bad. But bad physiology, what does that mean? Well, one of the things we know through current research is that your physiology is absolutely intertwined with your mental state. And the fastest way to change your mental state is to change your physiology. Now, what do I mean? And here's the interesting thing. You already know this. If I was to say to you, there's a person outside the door and that person is really depressed, I'm going to give you £1,000 if you can describe, before you open that door, how that person is standing, how they're using their physiology. So for example, is their head up or is it down? It's down, right? Are their shoulders rolled back or are they slumped down? They're slumped down. How about their breathing? Are they breathing deeply and fully in from their chest, or are they just breathing shallowly? So you already know this. You're already a practical psychologist. You already know that if you look at someone, you can tell whether or not they're in a good mood or the bad mood just by the way they're standing. So your physiology has an incredible amount to do with your mood. So if you change your physiology, just doing that will change your mood dramatically. This is why things like exercise have now been proved to be far more successful than antidepressants in treating depression. If you go to the gym or you run 30 days or you do cold water swimming 30 days, it's far more effective than any drugs whatsoever at treating depression. Why? Because you're changing your physiology. You're radically changing your physiology. So a bad mood can only be made up from bad images, bad self-talk, and bad physiology. So now, step 2. Think about what you do want. Think about how you do want to feel. So think about how you do want to feel. You might want to feel happy, you might want to feel courageous, you might want to feel resilient, you might want to feel joyful, whatever it is. You might just want to feel calm. Doesn't matter, whatever it is, think about what you do want. An example is you can start asking questions of yourself. What am I grateful for right now? Now I know what you're going to say, nothing. Okay, so what could you be grateful for? If you could be grateful for something, what could you be grateful for? Well, I could be grateful for my health, I suppose. Or I could be grateful that I've got a roof over my head. There are so many people around the world who don't have that. I could be grateful that I've even got running water in my house or my flat, or I've got a toilet. You know, there's 1,000,001 things that you could be grateful for right now if you were to pay attention and realise there are a hell of a lot of people out there who are in a worse situation than you are. So ask yourself different types of questions. What could I be grateful for right now? What am I happy about right now? What could I be happy about? You know, if I had a magic wand, what could I be happy about right now? So start thinking about how you want to feel. So things like, ask yourself about grateful, what could you be grateful for? What could you be happy? And the thing is, what would be the most useful state to be in? What could be the most useful state for you to be in? So it could be curiosity, it could be confidence, whatever. Ask yourself, what would be the most useful state to be in? Now, typically at this point, you're going to have negative images in your mind. If you're in a bad mood, you're probably going to be picturing how bad things are, or how bad you've got it, or you might be picturing an argument that you had with your friend, your partner, your parent, your children, your dog, whatever. You could be having this picture going on in your mind, or it could be something that happened some time ago. You've got this negative image from the past. You've got that image in your mind. So first thing is you move negative images away. So just take that image. So right now, just think about something that really bothers you. Think about something that bothers you. Maybe it's in the past, maybe it's in the present. And notice that when you think about that, that you have an image that's related to that. Now take that image, and I want you to take it, and I want you to push it off, way off into the distance. So it's small and dark, way down there, right down there, about 20 foot away. Now, as you look at it, way down there, small and dark, notice how your body feels. How are you feeling in your body? It's different, isn't it? Just doing that one thing, taking that image and shrinking it down, small and dark, way over there, notice how your body feels. Feels different, doesn't it? So this is one of the things you can learn to do, is to start to take control of any negative images. So if you get a negative image come up, whatever it is, don't sit there looking at it. I mean, if you went and rented a really crap film and you thought, oh my God, that's the worst film I've ever seen in my life, you wouldn't go and watch it the next day or the day after that. But this is what you've been doing with some of these negative images in your life. So stop it. Take that image, shrink it down, small and dark over there. See it way over there, about the size of a postage stamp. And as you do that, notice how that feels in your body. How are you feeling right now? It's different, isn't it? So that's what you do. Then you take the images of how you want to feel and then replace them. So take positive images. So imagine seeing yourself feeling really happy, or acting the way you want, or being confident, or being calm. Take these images and bring them up right in front of you. So they are right in front of you. So you see yourself having made this change. If you could see yourself having made this change, feeling what it would feel like right now if you were this person, notice how that feels in your body. It's different, isn't it? So this is how you can learn to take control of your own thoughts. Then, if any of those negative self-talk comes up, use the mantra. Shut up, shut up, shut up. Do that over and over again until that negative dialogue ceases. Another thing you can do, if you start feeling in a negative mood, in a bad mood, notice where that feeling starts. Notice the shape of that feeling. So if you were to think of something that makes you feel bad right now, notice the shape of the feeling. Notice where it is in your body. Now, I want you to notice which way is it spinning. Now, I know that sounds a little bit weird, but just stop and think. This feeling, let's say you've got a feeling in your stomach, which way is it spinning? Is it spinning this way? Is it spinning that way? Just notice, and it might help if you use your hand and find out which way is it spinning. And a sure thing is, so if you're not really sure, do one way and spin it a little bit faster. If the feeling gets worse, then that's the right way. So then what I want you to do is just mentally bring that feeling out from you, flip it round and start spinning it in the other way. Start spinning it in the opposite direction. And as you do that, notice that as you spin it in the opposite direction, the feeling starts to feel different. Maybe add some sparkles or a little giggle to it, and notice how that changes how you feel. Because spinning the feeling in the opposite way changes your neurology. It changes how you feel. So just notice doing that, and notice as you've done that, how does your body feel now? It's different, isn't it? So that's another way you can change your mood. So notice the negative feeling. And what way is it spinning? And then do the opposite. Spin it in the opposite way. So there's several things you can do already. You can change what you're focusing on. You can move the negative images far away, small and dark, and bring the positive images right up in front of your face. Then you can use the mantra. You can spin the feeling in the opposite direction. And then lastly, you can change your physiology. Now look, I'm sitting here standing here in front of a camera. I don't know what you're doing. You may be lying on the bed, you may be sitting slumped on the sofa, watching your laptop or on your phone. The way you're using your physiology right now is directly related to how you feel. So if right now as you're watching this, you're not in a great mood, you need to change your physiology. So right now, just get up, put the phone to one side so you can still see it, put the laptop on something so you can still see it, and move your body. So what I want you to do is to just move your body in some way. Now there's a study done a little while ago at Harvard which showed if you use certain power poses that they can increase your testosterone levels, that's male or female, by 23% just by standing in a kind of Superman pose or a Wonder Woman pose where your legs apart, hands on your hips, shoulders back, looking up. If you do that for just 30 to 40 seconds, maybe even a minute, you are going to increase your testosterone levels, your cortisol levels are going to drop, you are going to change the way you feel. Other things are like putting your hands up in the air and sort of bouncing up and down as if you're celebrating. You maybe even open your hands, bouncing up and down. All these things, start using your body differently. If you're slumped in sort of depressed with your shoulders back, bring your hands up, go. Even better, put on your favorite piece of music and start dancing around. Use your body differently, and you'll radically change the way you feel in a heartbeat. So here, those are some tips that you can use right now. So if you're in a bad mood, it can only be made up from bad images, bad self-talk, bad physiology. So think about what you want. Start feeling grateful, feeling happy. And ask yourself, what would be the best state for me to be in? Then take any of those negative images or thoughts or whatever, take them, grab them, push them off into the distance so they're small and dark. And as you look at them, over there, way over there, notice how your body feels. It feels different. Then take the feeling that you do want to feel, bring that up, the images of that, seeing yourself feeling confident, seeing yourself calm, seeing yourself in whatever state you want, have an image of that right in front of you. And again, as you see yourself exactly the way you want, notice how that feels different. Then use the mantra, shut up, shut up, shut up, if any negative thoughts come in your mind. Then notice the feeling, which way it's spinning, whatever way it's spinning, spin it the other way faster and faster, add some sparkles, add a giggle to it. You will change your neurology and then change your physiology. If you do these things, I guarantee you, you will change the way you feel. If you sit there watching this, munching on popcorn with a big large Coke and doing nothing, nothing's going to change. So it's down to you. These are things you can do right now to radically change the way you feel and to start getting the results you want in your life. So please, please, please practice them. Now, of course, if you have any questions, feel free to contact me on the website, which is hypnosisessex.com, or on YouTube or on my Facebook page. For some people, they may need the extra help of some sessions. If you feel you need some sessions, by all means get in contact. In this day and age, I can work over the internet now, so that it doesn't matter if you're 5 miles away or 5,000 miles away, I can still get to work with you. So please, 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 if you need the help, get in contact and I'm sure I can help you. So it's Barry Neale again, signing off, and I hope that this has been of some help to you. Please, please, please practice it and you will change the way you feel very quickly.